Have you ever heard when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? Before you move the channel on me, what I want you to do is give me a minute here. My kids would always say, "Oh yes, you get lemonade, mom, but you want pink lemonade." Well, no, no, no. Lately, world has been giving us lemons, and you know what? We can do something about it. We're going to be talking about that today. Let's talk. We're going to go around the room today and we're going to introduce my friends. They are all service heroes, good deed doers, and they know what they're talking about on Good Deeds Day. We're going to be celebrating it together. My name is Tamara Hunter. I am your host. And we're going to also share where we are. As one of our hosts at the Fab Show would say, beaming in from, I'm here in the Ozarks in the middle of the United States. We're going to go around right now, and we do have an international crowd. We're going to start with you, LaWanna.
Hello, everyone, and it's exciting to be here with you, Tamara, and all the other panelists. I am coming in from Sierra Vista, Arizona, just 30 minutes from the Mexican border, and I am part of the Bradford Group Consulting, and our goal is to help connect the dots, help individuals rise up to find their way to be able to reposition to remain relevant in an ever-changing market, and that's what I know we're going to be discussing today, so I'm going to pass it on to our next panelist. Looking forward to the chat.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Nori?
I'm Nori Love, and I am beaming in from the amazing West Virginia.
Perfect. Davey?
What up, everybody? It is Davey Williams here, the Lifestyle Lifeguard, proud Chief Operating Officer of Empowered Fathers in Action, and I have already been beamed in to the wonderful state of Florida. Not what you're thinking, with beaches and sunshine in the middle, surrounded by orange groves and cow country. Stoked to be here with everybody.
I love it. Okay, Preston.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Preston. I am beaming all the way up from Montreal, Canada. I'm really happy to be here with you guys today. I am the founder and owner of a digital marketing agency called Javologics and a proud member of this community, and so happy to meet with you guys today and share our fun experiences.
Well, I am thrilled that you're here too. You know, we're going to kick it off right now with this.
Good deeds. What comes to mind when you think about good deeds? For me, it conjures up images of a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout assisting an elderly person across the street. And although that is a good deed, there's so much more than what meets the eye. Behind every good deed, every act of kindness is a thought, a feeling, an intention, and that's all energy. Every good deed is energy. This energy comes from our heart. It comes from our spirit. It comes from our higher nature. Some people even say it comes from God. And it helps not only the person, place, or thing that you're focused on, but it helps you and everyone around you. So when you choose to direct your energy into a good deed, into an act of kindness, it raises the energy in that person or situation. So it could help them feel better emotionally, it could help them feel better physically, spiritually, but it also raises your energy and it helps you feel better. When our energy raises, it ripples out and it touches everything around us. And it actually ripples out so far in this quantum universe that it makes this world an even sweeter and better place. My name is Nori. I've been a nurse for 30 years. I'm a certified life coach, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, and I cannot wait to talk about good deeds.
That is just so beautiful. Nori, and I'd love for you to go a little deeper into that because you really are coming from both sides. You know, you've got the traditional medical side. You have the other side, which some would say, you know, into the frequency healing, Reiki, and some of those others. You've worked with the buddies and volunteered with us back in 2022. Good Deed Day, guys. And you've given so much to the community. I'd love to hear a little bit more because you set off the show so beautifully.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. I absolutely love good deeds. You know, and when I was preparing for the show, all of these examples of good deeds that I've experienced, especially in my nursing career, you know, would like bubble up to the top. Like, I'll give you one quick example. I was having a really bad day and was running in between many hospitals. I was a hospice liaison, and I had to go visit a patient who had just gotten the news that he needed to go to the hospice house. And I was gonna, you know, kind of get cranky. And there was somebody behind me when I was running up the stairs, and I took a breath and I said, "Here, let me hold the door for you." And they said, "Thank you." And they looked at me. And then with that, I started praying. Going up the rest of the stairs, I was praying. I don't know how this happens. It can only be miraculous. I've walked into that patient's room and he said to me, "You were just praying." And it turned out that he was a lifelong pastor, but that little good deed of me not being cranky, stopping, holding the door, shifted my energy so much that on a miraculous level, I connected with this man on a level that I probably wouldn't have. You know, the energy, the love that does ripple out from us is so magical, and it helps us to remember that we're not alone in the world, you know?
Okay. You know, right now I need to do this and then we're going to go straight into another video because I had something else scheduled right this moment, but you know, wait until you see this. We are going straight into the next one. What a piggyback moment this is. Here we go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Davey Williams here, and so excited to be celebrating Good Deeds Day and talk about service heroes being inside of every single one of us. And I want to use a quick, short analogy that's both physical and metaphorical in terms of the point that I'm going to get across. You know, we all have that service hero inside of us, and I want you to think about opening a door for somebody. How often, even when you're having a crappy day, do you open the door for somebody? You hold the door for somebody, whether if you're a guy like me, you hold it for a woman, hold it for elderly people. But think about, even if you're having the crappiest of days, in that millisecond of somebody saying thank you, how it just changes our energy. And also think about how it goes if somebody holds the door for us, whether we're having a good day or not. And think about how that can catapult so many other things. See, good deeds and having that service-driven hero inside of us is about opening doors for ourselves and other people. So do yourself a favor. Open that door.
Right? Wow. You know, Davey, when you sent that in, and then just hearing Nori, what were you thinking as she's going on, and you're thinking,
I think it's so funny because there was something in there that Nori had said about random acts of kindness, and I think that it's so ironic that the intentionality of being a good human being, the intentionality of what myself and all the other panelists, and Tam, you included in this, obviously, the intentional actions that we take, how that randomly brings thought processes together when we're all separated by demographics, as we all mentioned, and all come from different walks of life. Our careers are at different points. We all do something similar, but we all do something different. And how random it is that there's such an alignment, and God, the universe, their way of saying that we are all exactly where we need to be with people that need exactly what we have to hear. So how ironic that we're opening that door. So shout out to Nori for that one.
That's beautiful.
I want to open it up to everybody right now, because I have a feeling that everybody has something to say about this, because, you know, it's just really, I love that. It's that opening the door. And I picked this panel because of the fact that I know these people so well. We have called upon within the community of chemo buddies and everything that we do to support a community throughout the world of people that really sometimes are feeling isolated and alone. I've called upon each one of these individuals for years, and they've always shown up. They've always opened that door. They've given their energy. They've given their love. They've been that service hero. And so I know that they know what they're talking about. And today, being Good Deeds Day, I want you guys to be writing down, because we want to make good deeds cool. You know, write down some of these ideas and everything. And LaWanna, I want to ask you, because I asked you had posted just this last week or so that you were in Arizona and you were at an event and inviting people down and everything. And it was a give back, right? What were you doing?
Yeah, my mother, who's 89, actually is still mentoring, and she mentors young mommies. And this is for MomCo, which is a national organization, and they joined in partnership with one of the local churches to have a massive yard sale to raise money for their initiative. And I went there the night before as they were prepping, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work, and I don't know if they're going to have enough people to set up and stage the first thing in the morning. And so I crawled out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and went down there, and there was only 2 people there. And so I'm there, you know, pulling out tables, you know, staging the tables, getting things ready. And again, I'm not a part of that organization, but it was just it felt so good to see how happy they were that someone showed up, got up on a Saturday morning when I could have been snug in my bed because it's still very, very cold here. And so that was just my way of coming on live and telling people, find a way to look around you and see how you can support someone else. They don't have to ask for help, but if you can see it, then show up and be that support for someone in need.
I love it. In fact, what a great entrance into what it is that you shared.
Hello, I'm LaWanna Bradford, and I am so excited to be part of the Good Deeds Day celebration. And what Good Deeds Day means to me, it's all about giving back, finding a way to show up, to be a source of inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and resource for others without them even asking. It's looking for a way to take all of the blessings that you have in your life and return them to a world that right now desperately needs good deeds showing up, right? And you see my hat here, it says love God, love people. And that's what good deeds to me means. It means first giving honor and glory to my God, because I'm a woman of faith, and then taking all the blessings that have been bestowed to me and seeing how can I show up, how can I serve, how can I be a bridge builder, a mender of the breach, how can I inspire, enlighten, elevate, and motivate individuals and help them be the best that they can be, and realize that they're not alone, because LaWanna Bradford's here, and I pray that every single day that I am better than the day before. Thank you so much, Tamara, for allowing me to be a part of this Good Deeds celebration.
Well said. I mean, yes, absolutely. I love it, Davey. Clapping. And LaWanna, you know, I have here, and I want to open this up again, but I have that you're constantly educating, you're constantly out there. You have how many shows on E360 TV that are dedicated to it? They're all like give back, at encouraging people to read books, encouraging people to be financially aware, and encouraging women to get into business and to be mindful. And you have a whole group of people that celebrate you. I mean, this is an ongoing, and then you celebrate. You're there with your mom's group. You come into the chemo buddies. You do all this stuff, and you're an entrepreneurial woman. I want you to maybe address that a little bit more, and then we can have a discussion here, because I want to encourage others that are out there, entrepreneurs, people that may not understand that causes that you can that you there's so much when you give back. You think, oh well, it's going to take all this time, and yet how much it's amazing how much more time shows up right when you're giving. I'd love to address that, and then I'm going to call upon you, Preston. Okay, so get ready, but go ahead. Go ahead, LaWanna.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the more you give, the more comes back to you in so many amazing, magical ways. Life becomes delicious, fun, and exciting. And I have been so blessed in my life, even though I've gone through my battles with cancer. I'm still, Tamara, I'm still in a fight, but I am so blessed to wake up every day with joy in my heart, with living in my purpose. And if I can take all that God has given me and enrich and encourage others so that they can navigate these landmines, so they can find opportunities in the chaos and translate those stumbling blocks into stepping stones, then that's why I'm here. And that's what motivates me each and every day. It's not about the money. It's about making lasting impacts, because at the end of the day, I want my life to have mattered.
And it does. And you touch so many people, including me. And so thank you for that. Now, I told you, Preston, you're up next. Preston, for those of you that don't know, let me introduce Preston. Okay, Preston is humble about a lot. And we have our other panelists that we want to celebrate and recognize victors with us. And we're going to be bringing Victor front and center in a moment too. Preston.
Yes.
Many people remember that have been around with me for a while, and I'd be out there, and what was my biggest goal for the longest time? It was to have a website for the buddies. And anybody that knows me knows that I created, I don't know, a couple of them and blew them up. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous, pretty funny. I met Preston because we were invited to be a part of a global community of leaders and mentors a while ago, and we met in Colorado, and we became close, and he's like, you know what, your group needs a website. I'm like, I know it. I know. And guess who built our website and has hosted it this whole time? Preston. Aww. We want to say thank you to you. For the cb4l.org website, this is the man and his team. He has a global team. They have been taking care of us for years now, and he's never really officially gotten this kind of recognition, and I've been wanting to give it to you, and thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Tamara, thank you so much. It means so much. I can tell it's so heartfelt, priceless on it. I really just want to see you keep doing what you're doing, because it's kind of paying it forward. You've done amazing things. You continue to do amazing things. And, this is, like my life goal, like LaWanna said before, it's a bigger goal. It's not necessarily just here for money. It'll pay itself forward. It'll happen. But you really want to start with heart. And I'm getting better at being a little less humble and tooting my horn a little bit from time to time. Definitely get at that. But it really just comes down to, it's a place, where I am. So as people say, Preston, how are you always smiling? How are you always doing this? I intentionally do it. I have to stop and think. I'm like, hey, do I literally just wake up happier than everybody else? No, I got challenges too. I've got wife, I got kids, I got, parents and stuff like that. And life happens too. But I just make a choice. Like, if I can make a positive impact in somebody's life, even if it's somebody on the phone, guys, like you pick up a phone, you're speaking to a telemarketer, or you're speaking to somebody, just how you doing? Just feel the reaction of how they change. You know what? Like 1 out of 4 people, you'll feel them go, oh my gosh, nobody's asked me that all day. And you just made one little good deed, right? Pay it forward. Keep paying it forward. And I appreciate it. I'm humbled to be amongst all you guys here today because I'm hearing the stories of all of you guys and how you contribute. Let's just do more of this, more people like this, more of this act of giving and this act of kindness.
Thank you. Thank you. And so from the bottom of my heart and from all of the buddies, we want to say thank you for believing in us, being there with us. And he even showed up on a Thanksgiving Day, U.S. Thanksgiving, way back in 2020 with his saxophone, and was a part of what Victor, and we're going to be talking about Victor here soon. We did a big for the Tour of Love intro, and he showed up and performed with us for that. And you guys may not know all of this, but yeah, we do have a rock star group, absolutely, 100%, because you actually do play, like you do, like you're in a little band and some stuff too, right, Preston? You do some stuff.
Yeah, I play with the national band here it's a marching band, but it's so fun. And my latest new toy is steel pan, so we get to have a little fun on. You should see how it changes up at church on Sundays when I bring that in.
Oh, well, thank you again for everything. And in fact, what is it that what is Good Deeds Day anyway? And I want to say thank you to one of our volunteers and one of the Fab Five, because she actually created something to tell us a little bit about the history of Good Deeds Day. Did you know that I didn't know some of those fun facts? And so now here we go. And we're going to, as soon as he gets back in his chair, we are going to be going to Victor, and we're going to be learning a little bit about you. We're so glad you are with us, Victor. And Victor Orlando, where are you coming in from today?
I'm coming in from outer space.
That I'm not surprised.
I wished I had Preston's knowledge. I skipped tech school in high school, and I went to the band room. So I know nothing technical, and I could not find this link to save anybody's life. But God allowed me to find something. I said I'll use something, and I got in. But before I come in, I want to come in correctly. That was my Good Morning Hello song. I just wrote it.
You guys, we're going to have a lot of fun now. I mean, rockers in the house. Well, what genre is it really? You've done all sorts of different types of music, right? You've traveled, and we're going to do, let me do this. Let me share your video first, and then we'll go into that.
Hello, my name is Victor Orlando, percussion player from the Gap Band, Bobby Womack, and countless other musicians and artists in this industry. I started out helping people, doing good deeds, as you would call it, by just bringing laughter and joy and my music to an organization called CB4L, Chemo Buddies for Life. Well, I became a chemo buddy at that point, trying to help and give people laughter and happiness in their time of cancer recovery. Until one day I looked up, I had cancer. Well, I had to laugh myself off and cheer myself, my own self, and along with the chemo buddies and everybody else that was uplifting me. So from that, I've continued being a part of that, but I started my own organization, my own foundation to help musicians that don't have insurance, uninsured musicians, just to get their PSA numbers. Unlike me, I didn't know what my PSA numbers were. And when I found them, I found out it was pretty high, and I did have cancer. But I recovered from it, and I decided to try to help other guys get their PSA numbers so that they wouldn't be lost and in the dark. So that's my little good deed that I'm gonna be happy about, that I can help out musicians get their PSA numbers with my foundation, the Victor Orlando Hope Foundation. So I'd like to continue doing good deeds as much as I can to as many people as I can.
So, you know, thank you for, I love it when, you know, like I started off, and guys, when I first started out, I started having like a ghosting situation going on. So that's why it was a little rough at the beginning of the show. Forgive me. But in the beginning, where I was going was that life will sometimes give us lemons, right? Okay, I have this little thing here, which is if life gives you lemons, a simple operation can make them melons. And, you know, and that's Chemo Buddy's humor. And so the fact that sometimes you just gotta laugh. And Victor, you laugh, you cry, you came into the buddies and you were actually in there serving. You had let me know, but you didn't let anybody else know at the time that you were actually testing and you were just getting some results, and yet you were serving others. Good deed doer. Let's go back into that. I want to explore that a little bit more, because you have chosen through all of this to be giving back, and you're still doing that. You made it through and you're looking at how can I give back today.
Yeah, well, exactly. I look at it that that is exactly it. I made it through. So I'm born in Texas, Dallas, Texas. I have Puerto Rican roots, but in Texas, along with your birth certificate, you have helping and sharing and giving back and manners and characteristics and integrity. That's on your birth certificate when you're born. So us Texans, we, you know, people will roll over in their graves if we're not helping people. So the day that you asked me to come on and talk to some more chemo people that needed some talking to and some laughter and stuff, that's the same day I had gotten that I had prostate cancer. And I figured out, well, I got it. I'm still here. Some other people are a little worse than me on the other end of the spectrum. Let me go do that, and then I'll get back to dealing with me later. And which I did, and I got everything cleared up, and I got cleared. But most of the time, while I'm talking to people, it's through laughter, just to cheer them up, make them laugh, to get them out, because I know how heavy it is on men's minds or on anybody's minds. A, that you have cancer. B, thank God it didn't spread to anywhere else. C, unfortunately, I had 3 people pass on since I had my cancer, meaning there's a plan for me, there's a reason for me, because I'm still here. And if telling, joking, musically, helping someone in some any way, small way, medium way, or large way, that's my purpose. And I appreciate God putting me in that, giving me that job.
I'm going to play one more clip right now, and I let you know I was going to do it. I did. So I have something, and this shows a little of everything. Now, I will say this too. People are probably saying he looks a lot like a comedian I once knew. You get mistaken for that a lot too, don't you?
No, I don't. You see, I just wake up and things just start coming out of me, and I don't know where it comes from. Some kind of way, somebody said that one day. Well, no, back in the 60s, I used to listen to Richard through my bedroom door in my parents' room. And of course, he had all of the salty green and white and blue language, and I dare not say any of that. So I ended up figuring out, get the funny from it, cut the rest out, and still serve up a funny cake. And that's what I've been doing, Richard Pryor impersonations, pretty much most of my musical career.
You know, let's share this, and then I'm going to open it up because I want to hear from everybody after we share
Yeah.
this one.
Y'all be putting it down. Gonna get over. Time to party. Gonna get over. We be right on time.
I was just dreaming.
Wow.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You know.
Thank you. Wow. My writing, producing, directing skills went right out the door. I'm no Spielberg and no Spike Lee here, Jack.
Well, you know, and I want to refer back to the period of time because you were doing that right around the time that we also did the event for Tour of Love because that was right around the same time. And I remember you talking about, okay, yeah, I'm going to go over and get this filming done. This is your band. You wrote this. Let's talk a little bit about this because I saw everybody. Yeah, everybody's like, okay, yeah. This is fun stuff. So, and then I want to hear from everybody what they thought. But go ahead. Let's hear
Well, this was
about it.
this was right after the cancer, right as I was having it, and right when the election was happening and the COVID was happening, and I'm watching television, and now I know television is a mighty, mighty powerful magnet. It will suck the life out of you. It will drain you. It will depress you if you let it. And I was letting it. And I found the nerve to get up and use that remote and cut it off. So I cut that negativity, I cut that negative boob tube off. And then I said, okay, now what am I gonna do, God? And he was like in my head, you know, he talks to me in my head. I don't know how he talks to you, but he talks to me in my head. He said, what do you do? I said, I play music. He said, look around. I started looking around in my living room. There's instruments all over the place. He said, we'll play music. And at that point, I started tinkering around stuff and beating on stuff and hitting stuff, and melodies started being creative. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about what's on the outside of my door. I can only control what's in here. The COVID's not in here. It's over. But it's time to party. It's time to get a party going on in this house. And I said, COVID is over. It's time to party. I went to put it on KJLH, the radio station here, and it was like, dude, COVID ain't over. I was like, I know it was a dream that COVID was over. So the concept of it wasn't going to go over well with the public per se. So I renamed the song to Time to Party and put it back out. But yeah, I just started creating. Next thing I know, I was in the studio. Next thing I know, we had that. I shot the video. I produced the whole video, directed it. And just some of all of my talent, skills, whatever God gave me came out in that one piece from whatever I do all the way to the end. I did not know I could write. I did not know I could produce. I did not know I could direct until I did it. And then this is the stuff I pass on to other people when I talk to them. So that's how that all started.
Wow.
And really that's a good deed doer right there. Right there. Okay, we can feel sorry for ourselves or we can show up and hello. We want to say hello to the digital audience here and also thank you to Aaron who has been sharing our comments and your comments. We want you to let us know what you think of It's Time, It's time to party. I just love that. Every time I've listened to it, I love, and may I just say, I always am loving your outfits. You always have the, you guys
Well,
have to
that's the
follow
design.
him.
That's
He's
the
got the
designer.
best.
That's the designer segment in my life. I sit up and think of between Elton John, Liberace, Alice Cooper, and George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. That's what I decided to. I said, okay, if they're making it, and I see what they're wearing, I'm not gonna wear a pair of blue jeans and a t-shirt out of Goodwill. I went in that direction, and that's the direction I've been in ever since.
And a stylish man he is. I've even met him in person and we've done some stuff and it's been fun. What a fun. Okay, so I'd love to hear, let's open it up. What did you guys think? First of all, I told you we were going to have some fabulous fun and all of you out there, because I want you all to know that being a good deed doer is cool, and you can have a lot of fun and you can party and all of that neat stuff. Love to open it up and hear what you all have to say.
So I can
I'm
hardly
ready.
sit. I
Go
can
ahead.
hardly sit still. I can't believe Victor was in the Gap band.
Thank you so much.
I was thinking about everybody, how our creativity is, speaking in terms of energy, is like the same energy as a good deed. The creativity the gifts that God gives us, it carries a certain energy. And what we say, right, we can speak into life. So I'm thinking Victor's speaking the end of COVID into life with all of these gifts, discovering these creative gifts within himself, and also healing himself, COVID, and the world, right? All because he decided to look the other way from negativity and go toward that which is beautiful and giving and fun. So much fun. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Such a
Thank
pleasure.
you, Nori.
And I was thinking that all of us here, LaWanna, she touches so many people, and the love and the good deed is in the fabric of each of our beings. And then we have the opportunity to meet so many people because of what we do. What a gift that is. I'm so honored to be here with all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Tam.
You're welcome. And Davey, I want to bring you front and center for a moment, because first of all, I was also seeing you doing a little like dancing in the chair. But with that, I want to focus also in that the good deed doer and the focus that you've been given to, if you will, the family, to men, to children, to stepping into that. I want to go there because that is a full circle, and it goes to what Victor was saying, that he was born in Texas and his birth certificate, it's required. Yet you're in Florida and you're kind of sharing the same thing message out there, right?
Yeah, I'm a different breed of Floridian than most people would think. But I do want to preface this as Tamara knows. Some of you may know my business partner and co-founder of our nonprofit, Chris Salem, who will always be my mentor, and I'll always be his favorite little protege, and why he needs hemorrhoid cream delivered by the pallet every month. But yeah, real quick, Victor, I just want to say I was dancing along. I actually knew that you were in the Gap band. I recognized your name, and I knew that you were in the Gap band. What I didn't know is that I was cheering along to a Dallas Cowboys fan as an Eagles fan. I just want you to know that the recipe for your team, they need to bring you in and cheer them up. And Jerry Jones needs a little bit of what you got, brother. And if any Eagles fans hear me say that, I'm sorry. Healthy competition in our division is important. But yeah, that's why I was kind of bobbing along. Like, I'm bobbing along, and this guy's wearing a Cowboys shirt, and this is normal. So I just wanted to say that, and that was awesome, by the way. And Nori, what you said was absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't agree more. For me, My work with the nonprofit is very interesting. Empowered Fathers in Action is our nonprofit. Chris and I call it the EFA movement because when we created the organization back in 2018, this was pre-COVID, pre-end of the world. We had this idea, and one of the things that I said to Chris was, I'm actually not a parent. A lot of people don't know that about me. I'm a co-founder of an organization and I'm chief operating officer of an organization that focuses a lot on fathers and men. And Chris said, that's the best part about it with you is because you are who you are and you're non-biased. You're not sharing a biased opinion as me as a father. This is what I would do. This is, Chris has that opportunity and perspective because he is a father, and shout out to Chris and his son, CJ. But I felt it was a calling and an opportunity for me to, as one who is not going to be able to have children with my wife, to be able to give back as a male role model. And I think that with the work that Chris and I do with Empowered Fathers in Action and with men, and we do work with women too, but we actually, this is going to sound crazy, ladies, we actually do work with women to help women, because me trying to help a woman, you can ask my wife, we've been married for almost 21 years now. I fail miserably at that. I'm a Philly guy, so I've just got my foot in my mouth all the time. But I think that the intentionality of service, like I was saying in the beginning, if I had an opportunity to share the insight and the wisdom that my father instilled in me, and what the work that you do with Chemo Buddies is important to me, because my mom lost her battle back in 2022, and my mom was a huge supporter of everything that we did. We talk something that, in the video, Victor, that you had, we were talking about COVID, and, it's gone, right? Like it's over. And as Nori said, you wish that into existence. And I think one of the biggest issues that we face as a society is masculinity, because we've put labels on things. And I just posted recently about masculinity is not toxic. Labels are. Femininity is not toxic. Labels are. Being a good human being, have a service-driven mentality inside of all of us, doing a good deed has actually been labeled as a scary thing in today's world, because we're so filled with animosity and anger and judgment. We've lost the ability. We're so confrontational. COVID caused a lot. We're so confrontational, right? So how can we break that down pragmatically to have a conflict? And there is a difference, because confrontation is emotion, conflict is logic driven. To resolve, it's about resolution. And good deeds, being a service driven hero, is a resolution to offset the negativity. As I said in my video, and it's something so silly as opening a door, but music, everybody using our gifts in unique facets is something very powerful. And I'm very proud of the work that we do. But what I'm most proud of is the lives that we get to touch. And Chris and I have our own things on the for-profit side. The nonprofit to us is an extension of who we are, what we believe in. And I believe that every man, young, old, we work with a lot of young men that are products of their environment. But we're all products of our environment until we choose to produce our own. And that comes through good deeds and understanding our service and understanding where our assets and our gifts can maximize being of the most service. There are things that, Tam, that you do that I can't do. Things that Nori does, LaWanna, all the amazing work that you do. You're a beautiful human being. I'm a huge fan of everything that you do. Victor, Preston, there's so many things like good deeds and services that you provide that I can't even touch that. So I make jokes about my good looks and charm. I make jokes when I'm on stage and I wear shorts. And who would want to listen to somebody that's so broke he can't afford pants that go past his knees? But to be able to show other men that it doesn't matter where you stand politically, culturally, we all have the opportunity to be exactly what we want to be if we embrace what we need to be. And part of that is within ourselves, but it's also doing things like this, being part of a group of amazing people from various backgrounds. And that's really where I'm at with this. I'm truly touched by everything that I'm hearing. And I mean, Victor, you had me in tears, bro. Really, because you're a Cowboys fan. I'm just really struggling with that right now. I just want everybody to know. I keep looking down at an Eagles emblem that that's why I keep going this way to make sure I stay focused here. But yeah, the work that we do, we're very proud of it. And again, I think that men need to step up into being everything that they deserve to be, and put aside, as I turn the boob tube off,
Yeah.
because it's nothing but negativity and nonsense. It's facts with an agenda, which turn out to be what? Nothing but opinions to fit said agenda.
Well said. Well said. And thank you. I mean, my goodness. Okay, wrap it up. No. But I have seen a lot of Purple Hearts. And before we go any further, we're going to share our little Purple Hearts Club. For those of you that know about the Purple Pin Hearts Club, you know that we are always sending our love out there and remembering our lives are truly blessed for those that have been in our world and have shared their love and shined their purple light. So we want to say thank you. And Nori, thank you for all that you did, especially with our purple pen there. And I'm going to bring Preston up for a moment because of what was just shared. And Preston, you are a dad. You're a dad of little girls, and you show up. And one of the things that I've always appreciated about you, and I want to highlight too, is with your giving heart. And for those of you that don't know, when we were working together there for a while, we would travel somewhere and we would be sharing, like a Airbnb. And so we got to know each other very, very well. And I got to see this man in action. And he'd be mentoring people, he'd be doing what he's doing for his business, but he would always put his family first. And to me, that is an example of good deed doing also. I want you to bring that up for a moment because you've chosen your lifestyle for that, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think a big part of what I do now is like living agnostically to location, be able to be home, attend stuff with the kids. I got 4 kids, and they kept us pretty busy in over the years. But it's always remembering that, you talk about the good deeds. Sometimes you forget, and I'll be the first one to say sometimes you forget the good deeds that need to be done at home. And that is that little form of just reminding them. You're proud of them. They need to hear that, right? Your kids need to hear that. Proud of them because they're looking up to you on a regular basis. And even if you're mentoring, Davey, you're mentoring other, those young guys that maybe they don't have a father figure, and they just need to hear that, small steps having an impact, and they mean a lot. So Tara, thank you so much for mentioning that. And I think it's important to remember that as well.
I agree with you. And I'm going to bring LaWanna up too, because on the other side right now, you are in Arizona because, again, good deeds are at home also. And you've been supporting family members there, correct?
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. People who follow me know I'm a big family person, and you've been following me and Dad for years. Well, I lost Dad in September, but I'm still here for Mom, to support Mom and just to support the family at large. And I realized my dad was always my coach, my lifelong coach and mentor and best friend. And the one thing that he told me, and it's resonating even more now, is there's a lot of good people out there, right? And there's a lot of people who are hurting, but you can't, and we hear this often, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so the good deeds start first with us, being able to love and embrace ourselves, give ourselves some grace. And then from there, from being in a place of replenishment, then we can reach out and we can love and we can open up that door for someone, right? We can give a smile. And as Victor mentioned, even in his diagnosis, waking up and saying, wait a minute, let me turn off this toxic noise coming from the TV and let me do something energetically, creatively, expressing myself, pouring out to the world, but also pouring into myself. Because I believe when we tap into our creative genius, there's healing, there's growth, there's expansion, and life just continues to be more delicious one day at a time.
Absolutely. And,
Anything else, then?
thank you. Thank you for that. So now as we're starting to wrap up the show, it's gone so fast. And I hope that everybody's enjoying this amazing panel and good deed doers. See, the whole idea here is that being a good deed doer is cool. And I hope that you guys are really getting that feeling. What I want to do is go around and take just a few moments to leave your last minute thoughts about today and celebrating good deeds. And I'm going to start with you, and you're shaking your head, so I'm going to start with you, Preston. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna do one in the form of music for you guys today. All right, and this is the message I want to tell you guys to go tell on the mountain. So. I know that sound came through, but there you go. Go tell on the mountain, everybody. Do good deeds. Spread the word.
Spread the word. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to go to you, Davey.
I don't even know what I can say I'm not going to play music. I don't have the wonderful tone that Nori does and just the energy. LaWanna, everything you say just sounds delicious, as you say. But I will say the last thing I want to remind people, we talk about random acts of kindness. Remember, for yourself, intentionally open the door, and that will also intentionally open the doors to other people like I'm blessed to have next to me on this panel. And it has been nothing short of an honor to be here with everybody. So thank you all for the wonderful stuff that you bring into the world and the amazing work and human beings that you are. The honor was all mine. And once again, always be the dumbest one in the room, because it's the best and fastest way to grow.
There you go. Okay, we only have a few seconds. Last minute word, last words.
I just want to remind everyone, in the words of Maya Angelou, find a way every day to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. And from me to you, remember that when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is always inevitable. Thank you so much, Tamara, and the whole panel.
You're welcome. Nori.
A good deed could be as simple as making eye contact with a stranger. Making that eye contact with the silence, but the feeling of, I see you. And with that beautiful offering, you just spread love throughout the world.
Perfect. Okay, Victor, you get the last 10 seconds.
Okay, well, since my man did it, I'm gonna have to do it too.
And with that, we want to say thank you for joining us today. And remember, you are all fabulous. Go out there and do a good deed. And we will be back here next week. Join us when we have another Let's Talk Fabulous show.